Today I'm recording and mixing vocals with the new 2nd generation Apollo, and the finished results sound like this.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain, yelling from the baby, let me use you. Show me what the mouth do. Know what's on the menu. What you tryna
My name's KARRA, and I'm an artist, songwriter, and vocal producer. And today, I'm recording my song Peak using my Apollo X Twin 2nd generation audio interface by Universal Audio, then mixing and mastering 100% in the box with UAD plugins. My vocal chain for today's session is the Neumann TLM49, connected directly into the new Apollo X Twin preamps. Apollo is a centerpiece that connects everything in my studio from mic inputs, speaker outputs, headphones, Thunderbolt, and extra outputs for my audio analyzers. Even though I have lots of analog preamps and compressors in my studio, I'm intentionally not going to use any of it in today's session. All recording, mixing, and mastering is going to be done 100% in the box with console and UAD plugins. Let's open up the UAD console app to dial in our latency-free headphone mix, enable the mic preamp, 48 volts phantom power, analog low cut, and the gain knob around halfway as a starting point. Test 1, 2. Click the plus sign to add a plugin to your headphone mix. Manley Voxbox is one of my favorites because it has compression, EQ, de-essing, and more in a single insert. I like to increase the input gain for extra compression, enable the de-esser, and leave everything else in the default position. Next, add a reverb send using UAD's EMT250. This fader below your inserts controls your reverb send level. Adjust the first lever in EMT250 for reverb length to match the vibe of your song. Finally, click UAD monitoring to ensure you're recording a dry signal in your DAW, so we can add different plugins later in the mix. Now let's open up our DAW for today's session, which is ProTools, and select the KARRA Vocal Template from IamKarra.com. This gives us all the empty channels preloaded, organized, panned, and leveled to sound great as quickly as possible. But this time, with all the stock ProTools plugins removed, so we can replace them with UAD plugins that sound way better. But more on that later. Let's add a plugin to our lead vocals bus called TopLine Vocal Suite. This features everything you need to mix raw vocals from scratch, and it's included with your UAD Spark subscription. The first page features pitch correction, plus pitch and format shifting for some cool vocal effects that really tie your song together in the end. Saturation, compression, EQ, and filtering on page 2, and modulation, delay, and reverb on page 3. Everything is fully customizable and gets you a finished vocal sound in just a few clicks. Next, I want to process all my doubles and background vocals together with a single plugin. Let's load up another TopLine Vocal Suite on our background vocals bus. Disable the pitch correction and format shifting for backgrounds because these features only work with one layer of vocals at a time. In this instance, is processing a whole group of vocals. Finally, I'm going to copy TopLine Vocal Suite from the lead vocals bus down onto my Adlibs. The last setting we need to get right before we start recording is finding the key of our song. UAD makes this easier than ever with their new TopLine Keyfinder plugin. Simply add TopLine Keyfinder to your instrumental or master bus, then play a snippet of your audio, let it listen, and detect the key of your track. It's already determined C minor, so I'm going to send this data down to all of my TopLine Vocal Suite plugins with a single click. Now every pitch correction module is set to match our key without having to open every single plugin. This is a huge time saver. Now let's record some lead vocals.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain, yelling from the baby, let me use you. Show me what the mouth do. Know what's on the menu. What you tryna?
The new Apollo X 2nd generation features improved converters that have my mic sounding saucier than ever.
No, stop until ooh yeah. This body and this bedding for the weak. And baby, we ain't stopping till
I've recorded everything 3 or 4 times to edit together a perfect lead vocal from the best parts of each take. Hearing all of your recordings through a complete vocal chain helps your decision-making as you comp. And now that we've got our lead vocal, let's record some doubles for support.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain, yelling from the maybe let me
Extra stacks to emphasize the song title.
don't know what's on the menu. What you tryna eat?
High harmonies,
Surfboard, big horse, mountain, yelling from the beach.
background melodies,
Let me use you, show me what the mouth do.
low harmonies,
Menu, what you tryna eat?
more harmonies,
Taste of the yum yum yum. Get a little squirt on my water gun. Give me your brain, dum dum dum.
and low octaves for depth.
Ooh yeah, body in this bedding for the weak.
Finally, some ad-lib vocals to add counter melody and extra personality behind your acapella.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain, yelling from the beach. Baby, let me use you. Show me what the mouth do. No,
This is where you can get extra creative with your vocals and effects.
get a little taste of the yum yum yum. Get a little squirt on my water gun. Give me your brain, go dum dum dum. We'll stop until I, ooh yeah. This body and this bedding for the weak. And baby, we ain't stopping till I.
Now let's mix these Apollo recordings with TopLine Vocal Suite and add a master chain to finalize our sound. First, let's focus on our leads by muting our beat and background vocals.
From the beat, baby, let me use you. Show me what the mouth do. Know what's on the menu. What you tryna eat?
Here in TopLine Vocal Suite, I like to begin by choosing the perfect speed and depth for my pitch correction.
Dum dum dum, stop until I, ooh yeah. This body and this bedding for the weak.
Speed controls the transitions between
Need a
notes,
surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain.
and depth controls the sustained centers of your
Baby,
notes.
let me use you. Show me what the mouth do.
Increase your formants for a small robotic voice.
Tryna eat. Get a little taste of the yum yum yum. Get a
Pull your formants down for a large, deep voice.
stop until I, ooh
I like to blend the pitch knob at -12 and the mix knob around 50%.
yeah. And baby, we ain't stopping till I.
And during the outro, this effect works perfectly to create that deep, mysterious vocal vibe. But back to our main lead vocals.
I don't need a surfboard.
The next page is where you can customize your saturation settings to emulate the behavior of classic mic preamps.
Baby, let me use you. Show me what the mouth do. Know what's on the menu.
Bypass.
What you tryna eat? Get a little taste of the yum yum yum. Get a little squirt on my water gun.
And
Give me your
saturation.
brain, go dum dum dum. Stop until I.
Color is a subtle dark overdrive style of distortion, and saturate is a grittier, bright distortion.
Baby, we ain't stopping till I peak. I don't need a
Next is compression, which sounds great with this aggressive
Way
preset.
up the mountain, yelling from the baby,
I'm just gonna increase the compression amount, then decrease the de-essing to allow a little more brightness to pass through.
tryna eat. Get a little taste of the yum yum yum. Get a little squirt.
For low cut filtering, I always like to sweep the low frequencies to find the perfect low cut point by ear.
This body and this bedding for the weak.
Somewhere around 80 or 90 hertz sounds perfect.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain, yelling from the
The air knob adds a really nice presence to your vocals using a high shelf EQ.
know what's on the menu. What you tryna eat? Get a little taste of the yum yum yum. Get a little squirt on my water gun. Give me
Then I boost a little bit more highs and lows with the main EQ knobs.
this body and this bedding for the weak. And baby, we ain't stopping till
Moving on to the wet effects page.
need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain, yelling from the
I've bypassed the modulation to keep my lead vocal as centered as possible as we add reverb and delay.
Get a little taste of the yum yum yum. Get a little squirt on my water gun. Give me your brain, go dum dum dum. Stop until I, ooh yeah. This body and this bed.
Eighth note delays work nicely with this vocal cadence.
And baby, we ain't stopping till
But I think the delays need some automation to really match the song. Open the ProTools plugin automation menu, scroll down to delay mix, then add the parameter to your automation controls. Click in the perfect effects levels throughout your song to create a journey with processing.
And baby, we ain't stopping till And baby, we ain't stopping till
Instead of static effects settings for the entire song.
I don't need a
Next, let's check out the different flavors of reverb.
We
have ambiance, chamber, hall, and plate, which is my favorite for lead vocals. 15% sounds about right, but I want even more vocal clarity through these effects. So I'm going to increase effects ducking to around 3. This allows the dry vocal to cut through while still having louder effects in the mix. Nice. Let's hear our vocals before and after TopLine Vocal Suite. Dry vocals.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain, yelling from the Maybe let me use you. Show me what the mouth do. Know what's on the menu.
And mixed.
What you tryna
Moving on to background vocals. This is where we can process our 12 plus channels of doubles, harmonies, and stacks with a single insert.
Don't need a surfboard riding
On the second page, I'm going to switch 2 to solid state for a slightly cleaner analog flavor and reduce the de-essing to keep the brightness in the backgrounds. Switch EQ before dynamics in your chain and experiment with high and low cut filters to tuck them into the background. Sometimes dark background sounds nice, but in this song, I think the brightness makes them really pop. On the wet effects page, I like to browse for a modulation effect that helps the group feel larger. Doubler feels like the right effect for the job.
Don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Me up the mountain, yelling from the peak.
Increase the send level to route your delays into the reverb channel. Then increase the pre-delay for more separation between your vocals and effects. And some modulation to wobble the pitch and create a larger effect. Next, I check out all the reverbs to see if I want to blend a new flavor in the mix. Chamber sounds really nice and spacious for these backgrounds. And these background vocals are sounding excellent.
Body and this bedding for the week. And baby, we ain't stopping till
Let's move on to our Adlibs at the bottom.
on this big
These are fun call and response vocals that have a unique personality of their own. So I'm going to dial in some extra saucy settings, starting with pitch correction.
What you tryna hear? Yum yum yum.
Adlibs are a great place to go crazy and push the effect to extreme levels for extra style. Saturation is a great starting point for the signature telephone effect I'm going for. We can definitely back off the de-essing because everything above 5K is already getting cut with a high filter, plus a low filter at 300 to finish off the telephone effect. On the effects page, I really like the widener preset under modulation for Adlibs. Slide up the send level to send some of your delays into the reverb for wetter echoes, and switch to digital for clearer, modern-sounding delays. Ambiance reverb adds the longest tails to your vocals, And ducking can be turned all the way off, so the effects feel more level with the vocals. And these vocals are sounding awesome.
Give me your brain, go dum dum dum, stop until I, ooh yeah, this body and this bedding for the weak.
Now let's master our vocals together with the beat by adding some UAD plugins on our master bus. First, the UAD Spark SSL bus compressor. With a medium ratio, slower attack, faster release, and lower the mix knob below 25%.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse.
Let's hear the SSL G bus compressor before and after.
Let me use you, show me what the mouth do. Know what's on the menu,
Bypass.
what you tryna eat. Get a little taste of the yum yum yum. Get a little
And master compression.
Give me your brain, go dum dum dum, stop until I, ooh yeah, this body and this bed.
Next, let's add some EQ with the UAD Spark Manley Massive Passive Mastering plugin, which is a mouthful, but it sounds awesome.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse.
Already, you can hear a subtle analog flavor, but I want to add more bite in the mid-range around 1K.
Show me what the mouth do, know what's on the menu.
So let's create a wide bell curve and boost 1 or 2 dB.
To the yum yum yum. Get a little squirt on my water gun.
Bypass.
Give me your brain, go dum dum dum, stop until I, ooh yeah.
And master EQ.
Body and this bedding for the weak. And baby, we ain't stopping till I.
Next, let's process our perceived loudness with one of my favorite UAD powered plugins for mastering, the Sony Oxford Inflator. Simply boost the loudness effect 20 to 30%.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain, yelling from the peak. Baby, let me use you, show me what the mouth
Let's hear it before and after.
on the menu, what you tryna eat. Get a little taste of the yum yum yum. Get a little squirt on my water gun. Give me your brain, go dum dum dum.
Boost the curve for more dynamic squeeze.
This body and this bedding for the weak. And baby, we ain't stopping till I.
And finally, control your peaks and overall loudness levels with the UAD powered Sony Oxford Limiter. Simply boost the input gain until you see 1 to 3 dB of attenuation.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain, yelling from the peak. Baby, let me use you, show me what the mouth do. Know what's on the menu.
Then, disable dither and enhance the curve for a harder clipping effect. And you've got a UAD master chain for perfect industry standard loudness.
Stop until I, ooh yeah, this body and this bedding for the weak. And baby, we ain't stopping till I.
Now that we've mixed our lead vocals, doubles, backgrounds, and adlibs, and mastered our song to sound as loud and punchy as possible, let's take a final listen to my song Peak, recorded through the Universal Audio Apollo X Twin 2nd generation.
I don't need a surfboard riding on this big horse. Take me up the mountain, yelling from the peak. Baby, let me use you, show me what the mouth do. Know what's on the menu, what you tryna eat. Get a little taste of the yum yum yum. Get a little squirt on my water gun. Give me your brain, go dum dum dum. Stop until I, ooh yeah, this body and this bedding for the weak. And baby, we ain't stopping till I. Baby, we ain't stopping till I.
It's amazing how professional your song can sound recorded and mixed completely in the box with Apollo and UAD plugins. If you want to learn more about the new 2nd generation of Apollo X interfaces, check out my links in the description below, or visit your local guitar center to upgrade your sound quality today. Don't forget to check out my template for Pro Tools, a free template for Luna, plus all of your favorite DAWs at imkarra.com. And I'll catch you guys next time in another session.